الحياة شوقا إلى المولى أتاي أسلمت روحي للإله
نور الحنايا والطلوع لله أعلنت الرجوع آياته تغدو شموع ويفيض في قلبي.
I've been living in Bath since the age of 13, so I spent my whole teenage life here. But luckily for myself, the friends who I surrounded myself with were not bad, and I was still at that age where all what was on my mind was football and going to the park and friends, and so it wasn't that bad. I read quite a few books, and mainly they were to do with the seerah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the one book that actually convinced me and kind of showed me that what I always thought was true was this book here of The Fundamentals of Tawheed by Sheikh Bilal Phillips. This was the one that cemented my views and my opinions, and this is what really convinced me and took me further into knowing more about Islam. The first time I actually opened the Quran was in English, so I started to read from cover to cover, but I wasn't really taking anything in because there was so much information at the same time. But the one thing that really stood out to me was the continuation of what I had thought from before that, which was the oneness of Allah.
يا روضة نحيا بها يا منهجا لأولي النهى يا غيمة نرنو لها وسماؤها القرآن.
The first time I said these words was when I was alone in my house, and it didn't really hit me then. I knew I said it, I knew I believed it, but it didn't really affect me as much as the first time I actually prayed. And the first time was here in this masjid down there, and I prayed in sujood, and that was the first time it really affected me. That's when you start, like I just couldn't stop crying, really, to be honest. And that's when you feel, it's when you feel like in sujood, the closest to Allah. And you can't get any closer. So you really feel it then. And this is the first sujood I ever made in my life. This is when you really feel the shahada. Not just words.
نور الهداية زار صدري هو مبتدأ أنسي وعمري فعزمت للرحمن أمري وعلى